It's a snowy day today, and Jerry and Ross are loading hay. First good snow this year. Ross today is driving my new truck, and he's driving in snow. We're going up the dirt road, and he's driving. How do you like it, Ross?
Pretty comfortable ride. Kind of a smart vehicle. Can't really do that many things with it because it's too smart.
It didn't seem to like the snow, did it? It seemed to think that we were too close to some object or another. It kept flashing the red light. When the snow was falling, it kept going off and saying that there was something in front of us, which was just snow falling on the ground. But that was fun too, huh?
Yeah, it's limited edition too. Only 50 ever made.
Yeah, right. You're funny. Anyway, no one's been up our road. That's kind of cool. We didn't get a lot of snow, but we got a fair amount. It sure is pretty. Look how pretty that road is. Fresh snow. Let's roll down our window. See how pretty that is up there? She just love her snow. It's nice. Yeah, that's nice. You like winter the most?
Yeah.
Huh. How come? You have to feed more. You have to,
Because you have to work harder, I guess.
yeah, there's lots of, you have to build fires more. You have to do everything more. You like the survival of it?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
Out. We did get some snow. The wind's blowing. I got a little hay. I fed a few horses and some of the heifers.
I'm going to pump some water. You know, a lot of people think because we live in Arizona we don't get any snow and all we are is, you know, burning up hot, but that's not true. Our elevation is probably 4,600 up to 6,000, highest point. And so we do get a little snow, and it does get cold. So, but I'm here at the tank. I'm gonna see how much water's in there, and then I'll put as much fuel as I need in the generator to pump it to fill it up. So here's just a view of the snow. It's not a lot of snow, I mean, a couple inches maybe, but it's still snow, it's still cold. I didn't put my snow boots on this morning. I went into Gallup to take care of the hay business, and so I didn't put them on, and I just came right out to the ranch and started a little deal here, checking the waters and stuff. As you can see, the cows spread out through this pasture here. We're in the goose pasture. So I let the tank run out of water this weekend. I was busy doing some other stuff, and anyway, I didn't get it pumped. So I had to turn the valve off while it's filling so it doesn't airlock the line, and it's got quite a bit of water in it now. So I've got to open the valve back up so that I can put water in the line that goes over there and down the road and feeds about 6-7 miles of pipe. So I'm going to do that now. Make sure there's nothing in there. So I'm down here where the air breather is. I need to bleed the air out of the line since I did run it out. So it's right under the snow here, so I'm going to have to uncover it. So I had to uncover the valve here. I can hear it making some noise. So I can bleed the air out of it. You can hear it. And once I runs a pretty good stream of water through there, then I can turn it back off, and then I'll go down below. This line's probably about a mile, maybe a little over a mile, mile and a half long. The first first storage tank. So yeah, I did run it out, and so I have to go through this process so I can get water quicker at the bottom. Gurgled. So I'm just sitting in my pickup here just waiting for the air to get blown out of the line and get the water coming out. Just backed up a little bit so I can see it. So I talked a little bit, well, just a while ago when I turned the valve on, you know, I said, well, I'm gonna look in there, make sure there's nothing in there. One of the reasons I look in there is just because sometimes there's dead mice or whatever. I don't stick my hand in there and, you know, rub around a dead mouse. But and a lot of other people think, well, maybe there would be a rattlesnake or whatever in there. And that's true. In the summertime, I look in there just to make sure there's no snake in there or around before I kneel down. And the reason I do that is it's been years ago. I was working just down below here at Beacon Light Grill, and I was working at the chute, and I was getting ready to use the chute for whatever reason, and there's a piece of pipe down at the bottom of the chute that I was going to pick up and move it and use it in the back of the alley. So I reached down and I picked this piece of pipe up, and when I did, I felt something hit my hand, and my reflexes, when I came up and something hit my hand, I just kind of shook it off. You know, wasn't really thinking too much about it. Well, a rattlesnake actually struck at me and hit the edge of my hand. And you know, when that time of, you know, a few years ago, I did a lot of hay, and with that, I didn't ever use hay hooks. I didn't wear gloves, and so the edge of my hand had a lot of callus. And so that rattlesnake actually one-fanged me right into a callus, but it didn't draw any blood. So of course, you know, it didn't hurt me, but that's one of the other reasons I kind of look down or look in a hole or whatever before I pick stuff up, just to be cautious. So that was kind of a fun story. So I think my crew is trying to tell me something. They got me a new hat. Of course, I don't have it on yet. I haven't reshaped it. And they also got me a new jacket. They said something about mine being wore out. So I guess I'm gonna have to swap my jackets out. And then they also got me a pair of boots. Same thing. I don't have them on yet. I haven't put them on, but these are my old pair. They said I needed a new pair. So I've been outfitted with new wear. I just got to get it on, I guess. It's probably a hard thing to put a new hat on. You have one that fits and wears good, and so you have to reshape one, try to get it molded to your square head or whatever your head is, so that it fits and doesn't fly off. Henson was having that problem the other day. His hat wasn't fitting just like he was wanting it to. Of course, that sometimes takes a little time to sweat it in. And then jacket, so I've got a new jacket. You know, this is, I don't even know, it's not that old, I don't think. So it looks like the water's coming. So it looks like we got quite a bit of the air out. We still hear there's a little bit there for the biggest part. We got the air out of the line. So I'll probably just go ahead and turn it off, and then I'll go down below. We have a lot of people who ask, what do the cows live on out here, especially if there's snow on the ground. Well, you can see the snow, and you can see there's grass here. They would eat a grass like this. There's brush. When there's a lot of snow, they can't get to the grass. That's why we have brush, like this brush, the chamise. This chamise is very high in protein. That's something they will eat, and so it's like putting a protein block out for them. And you can see here, you know, it has what we call the popcorn on it. You know, that's very palatable. They really like that. And then you have some other tall grasses that they can use as roughage. They can come and eat that. There's also sage. They will eat sage. A lot of people don't think they will eat sage, but they do. So if you look out, there's a lot of chamise right here. They're going to eat a lot of this. They're going to use the filler with the other grasses, the saccatones, the needle and thread grasses. There's some grama grass. So there's a lot of things for them to eat. It doesn't look like it, but you know, that's why our stocking rate is a little different than most people's. It'll take 50 to 53 acres per cow. Now that's the standard kind of set by the county. So if you look right here, you can see this curly grama right here. It's good feed. They're going to eat that. And as you can see, in some of the grass, there's still a little bit of green, and so they're gonna pick through that, and they're gonna pick the bottom, eat that green feed right there. This is sage. Same thing. They'll come over and they'll eat that sage. So they do eat it. There's some rabbit brush or turpentine weed, whatever people want to call it, and that's this. They won't eat that. That they won't eat. So you can kind of look out in the pasture here. There's chamise there. You can see it all through there. Sage. There's some winter fat out in there. Same as like a sage. Most people can't tell it apart. So probably by tomorrow, if I was to come out and video right here again, there's probably very little snow, if at all. The sun's up, see? And so a lot of this will be melted by today, tomorrow afternoon. So there's still a lot of feed for them. I mean, in our country, what we consider a lot of feed, maybe not in where everybody has this lush grassland. It's just not us. Never has been for us here anyway. Not in the last 50, 60 years. So the question was asked more than once, do we supplement? We don't supplement if we don't have to, and it would have to have been a real hard summer and fall to where we didn't have any rain, we didn't grow any feed, then we might, but rather than supplementing, we might just sell a few cows. So sometimes it's better just to sell some rather than try to feed them, especially with the price of feed right now. Hay right now here in Arizona is, decent hay is probably anywhere from $4.20 to $4.50, $4.60 a ton. That's pretty high. I didn't pay that for my hay, but I kind of thought ahead a little bit, kind of searched around, and my hay is not what most people consider horse hay. It's premium cow hay, but most people wouldn't feed it to horse. I do, and I do well on it. So the other thing about the country out here, I have people that want to send their brood mare, or send their mare, their old mare that, and sometimes they're not even old, but maybe they're crippled or they can't be ridden, so they want to put them somewhere that somebody will, use them and use them as a brood mare. If that mare's been fed most of her life, or been in a stall or in a lush green pasture somewhere it's irrigated or whatever, she's not going to survive out here because we just don't feed. That's why the mares that we do keep, we usually kept as a filly, because the fillies know how to go out, they know how to eat, they know what to eat, and so they do well. So that's, I turned down a lot of probably good bred mares just for that, because I know I will have to stand them up and feed them, and I guess I'm just not prepared to do that. So that's one of the things that we look at when we buy a horse. If we are buying mares, they have to be mares that were turned out, mares that know what to eat and how to eat in a pasture, not in a feed bunk. So I have my new jacket. I guess I should probably wear it. So that's my new one.